On this episode of Ghost Hunters International, the team investigates the castle that inspired Shakespeare's Hamlet.
At this castle, people see a see-through entity in the windows.
And Chris and Britt cross the pond as the newest members of GHI.
Somebody in here with us?
What was that?
It sounds like somebody walking. Barry, I just saw something move, and it was freaking tall.
Paul and Susan stalk the evil mass lurking in the dungeon.
What is it? What is there?
There's someone there. Go.
Will the spirits remain trapped for eternity?
Now, watch the flashlight.
No.
Holy
It moved.
Britt and Chris, welcome to Europe and of course Denmark, where we have one amazing case coming up at Kronborg Castle. And I have to say it's probably one of the biggest castles that GHI has investigated. So you've come just at a very good time.
I'm really excited about joining you guys over here at GHI. I mean, I've pretty much gotten to see all the states, so it'll be nice to actually see the world a little bit.
Britt, we are very, very happy to have you along and join the team over here in Europe.
Thanks, Barry. I'm really excited to be out here. My first time out of the U.S., and thanks for having me out. I appreciate it.
Certainly great to have you here. To give us an insight of what to expect at the investigation, Susan's going to give us a download.
Well, guys, we're on our way to Kronborg Castle, which was built by the Danish king to collect tolls from sailors going into the Baltic Sea. Kronborg Castle is actually what inspired Shakespeare to write Hamlet. And the Kronborg is actually the setting to Hamlet's play.
Well, thanks, Susan, for that great download. The castle is just coming up now, and I have to say it is absolutely huge.
Wow.
Holy crap, a moat.
See, now that is a castle.
Shane, it is good to see you again.
Hello, Barry. Welcome back to Denmark.
Please allow me to introduce Chris.
Hi, nice to meet you.
And Paul, also from GHI.
I'm the founder of the Paranormal Institute in Denmark. My group has experienced paranormal activity here. And I hope that GHI can give us some answers of what's going on up here.
When was this brilliant castle constructed?
The first fortress in this area was built in 1420. And then this was built in the 15th century. And with the cannons from here, we could control the entrance to the Baltic. So every ship that passed had to pay to the Danish king.
And if they didn't pay?
They would just shoot the cannons at them.
You either paid or you had to go extremely fast.
Yeah, right.
It certainly seems to have paid off.
Oh, yeah, it did. There are dungeons down here like you won't believe. So whenever we get new people on our team, we take them down there for a couple of hours.
To train or scare the hell out of them?
Both, I guess. But at this castle, lots of things going on. People see a sort of see-through entity. Could be a soldier. They see him walking along on the walls of the castle. The other reports of entities here have been like shadows in the windows. When you're standing here and you look up, you can see somebody go by.
You shouldn't stay too long after dark because it is said that you can hear screams, decapitations, you can hear horses, you can hear old soldiers from bygone times that shout their commands at other soldiers. So if there's any place in Denmark with ghosts, this has to be it.
This is Queen Sophie's room. Sort of a very pretty room decorated for the Queen.
Who was Queen Sophie?
Queen Sophie was the wife, the Queen of Frederick II, who built the castle. And in this area, the second floor, the story is about people are feeling like they're being watched. There are sounds, footsteps.
So this type of activity is happening over the entire second floor?
Yes.
Jeg ved, at folk har følt sig overvåget. On the first and second floors, you will also see shadows, strange shadows that move across the walls on those floors. I'm 100% certain that the Kronborg Castle is haunted.
Well, it certainly is quite an amazing castle, Shane.
Oh, yeah.
You know, these long corridors are absolutely breathtaking.
Talk about making you feel small.
Well, the castle at the time was in many ways just a showpiece, because very quickly it turned out to be a palace that wasn't that nice to live in. There were many that found it too big, too cold. One of the special features of it is that it has a very, very big grand hall. It's, to this very day, one of the largest single rooms in Scandinavia.
So this is the main hall, the big ballroom.
It certainly is huge.
You know, King James the First had his honeymoon here.
Right.
He's the one who commissioned the King James Bible.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful, huge place.
And what type of activity happens here as well?
Footsteps, sounds. People feel they're being watched.
Okay, Shane, so where to next?
Let's go to the dungeons.
Excellent. Looks like we have a long walk ahead of us.
Yes. This is the way down to the dungeon, yes?
Okay.
That would be where the prisoners was held.
Most experience is in the dungeons. Noises, footsteps, and a lot of EVPs.
What's your head here?
There's always a response when you're doing EVP, primarily knocking. When you ask to give a sound, you usually get a sound. The last time I did it, I asked for a noise, and a big bang came right after. It was clear as day.
Wow.
This is one of the rooms that we use for training because we almost always get some sort of activity down here. We have had battery drained from our video cameras, our recorders.
Right.
Maybe 5 minutes, you will lose power.
And originally, what was this room used for?
Torture, because if you look at the room, you will see how the walls goes into a point. You will be able to sort of make the room for the prisoners smaller and smaller day by day.
Keep pushing them back into that.
And eventually, you know, people will go crazy because you will be sitting like this against the walls, insects crawling on the walls down here. It would not be a nice place to be.
I can see why Shakespeare put Hamlet here, because not only of the castle's grand nature, but also because of its dark sides. There were murders between the people who lived here, there were rapings, there were all kinds of different things that made people really live miserable lives. So that might be the reason why there are so many ghosts hanging around Kronborg Castle.
We just finished the tour with Shane. There's a lot of reports that have been coming out of here. Footsteps, apparitions, and shadows. It just seems like they have a little bit of everything here. This place is enormous. I've never seen a location this big, and it's just funny to think of some of the places we've visited in the States that call themselves castles. Cannot compare to this. And that's the interesting part about joining GHI, is just getting to see the world.
Hey, Paul, how's that look?
This one, I believe, is as good as we're going to get it.
Cool, so we're going to the camera. This is my first time outside of the United States of America, and I'm really excited. I can't believe that ghost hunting has brought me completely across the world. The team that has been put together is phenomenal, so I'm just excited in general. I can't wait to get to it.
So, Paul, how's the setup going?
Pretty much we're ready to rock.
Okay, and where's the cameras positioned?
Okay, so in this camera, what we have is the thermal. It's actually set down in the dungeon. In addition to that, we also have a full spectrum camera where we're actually going to be placing the experiment.
And what are we hoping to accomplish with this experiment?
Ideally, what we want to try and do is record battery drain. We're also going to be taking note of the temperature and just maybe, you know, see if there's any sort of EMF down there as well.
Excellent.
And then in this camera, what we have is the entire courtyard. If anybody does happen to walk through the courtyard, and that will actually capture that.
I would assume that there's going to be sound out in the courtyard as well to make sure we can try and capture any evidence to support these claims of this X coming down and, of course, the cheers of people.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to be sticking one of the 360s out there. It'll have the wind diffuser on it as well.
Excellent. So why not get started and see what we can uncover? Paul, Susan, why don't you hit the dungeon first?
Sure.
Let's get started, get those lights out, and have a good investigation.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay.
Just dying off. There's not much for the IR to bounce off of.
Chris and I were investigating the second floor of Kronborg Castle. We started off our investigation in the ballroom. We were asking for any spirits in this castle to come forward into this area now.
I just heard something to my left.
ask any of the spirits of this castle to come forward to us now. Make your way towards us.
Did you hear that?
Stay there a second.
Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Barry, I swear I just saw something move in that back corner.
We ask any of the spirits of this castle to come forward to us now. Make your way towards us.
Did you hear that?
Stay there a second.
Okay. Barry and I entered the main ballroom, and almost instantly we started hearing noises from the corner to our left behind us. Whoa, 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 whoa. I swear I just saw something move in that back corner.
What's up?
Back right, I just saw something move. It went from right to left, and it was friggin' tall. I don't know what that was. I don't know what the heck I saw, but it went from the doorway, and it just disappeared into the darkness. There was no human shape to it. It was not see-through, but whatever it was tall, and it moved fast.
King James, are you here? Make yourself known.
How many people are here with us? Are you still celebrating the king's wedding?
What's that noise? Sounded like chitter-chatter.
I don't know. It's so hard to tell what's going on in this room.
Chris and I heard what sounded like some type of chitter-chatter going on. The acoustics in the ballroom are tremendous. The room itself is so vast. It was very, very tricky to try and isolate where the sounds are actually coming from.
Okay. Second floor. Britt and I were investigating the second floor area where reports of activity are footsteps and feelings of being watched. Nothing on thermal?
Nothing yet. I just have a very bad feeling right now.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is there anybody in here? You don't have to hide anymore. Were you employed here? Or is this one of your favorite places to hang out? Is that voices? Or is that just the wind?
Trying to decipher.
I hear footsteps again or something.
Which way, though?
It sounded like it came from the right. Something was moving. Come on, why are you playing games? Just show yourself. What was that?
No idea. It sounded like it was right behind me.
It did. I'm not seeing anything, though.
I'm not seeing anything either.
That was weird.
What was that?
I don't know. It sounded like something moved in here.
As we were investigating, both Joe and I heard footsteps coming from a doorway area. There was no one there to make those footsteps.
It was right when you, were in that entranceway, you kind of turned a little, and it did sound like it came from behind you.
I don't know exactly what caused it. It was definitely interesting. Joe had the mini DV running, so I'm hoping that sound of footsteps was documented on his mini DV.
Okay, where'd you head?
Barry thought it would be a good idea to send Paul and me down into the dungeons first. There have been claims of people hearing voices, people feeling like they're being watched, as well as battery drainage.
This is the infamous room.
So Paul decided to see if maybe we can test the battery drain issue.
We're going to be running a multimeter, so we can actually measure the voltage that's actually currently being used.
There we go.
We hooked in a multimeter, as well as the fact we were monitoring EMF and temperature. What I need to do is record. Now, this is all captured on camera, so when we go back, we'll be able to review these tapes and determine if there was any significant drainage of the battery itself. Let's go into another room and leave that to do its thing.
This place is pretty covered anyways, because we have this entire place on video, and we have also audio with the mini DV, so...
Yeah.
Now, aside from people being crammed into these cells and forced to be smothered in sharp corners, what other...
I just heard a voice.
Now, aside from people being crammed into these cells and forced to be smothered in sharp corners, what other...
I just heard a voice. Susan and I decided to start our investigation in the dungeon area, and I heard what sounded like a voice. There's someone there. Come on, come on. Definitely a voice. Shh, shh.
What is that?
What is it?
I'm not sure, but I thought I saw a shadow right here at this archway, right here.
What the hell? Over here.
It was right here. It was strange because at one point I saw what looked like a gray mass, and it was unusual because it's pitch black. I can't see anything, so it's kind of strange to see something lighter than the darkness around you.
Was that you who just tried to show yourself? Are you afraid of us? There's nothing to be afraid of.
Hold on a second. Weird. I was just hearing something. It sounded heavy breathing.
Where?
Right here next to me.
Is there someone in here with us?
Are you imprisoned here against your will?
We're here at dead end.
We were hearing some strange noises. We were hearing the murmuring. We were hearing the footsteps. I had the audio recorder going, so hopefully I would be able to find that in the evidence.
Okay. Now, there's a couple more rooms here to experiment.
Second floor. Keep an eye out for shadows.
Okay. Barry and I went to walk into Queen Sophie's room, and one of the things he wanted to do was to take some pictures with this full spectrum camera where people were seeing shadows pass by the windows. Look it. Did you just see something over on that side?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell was that?
I've seen something move there again.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Before we even walked through the doorway, we both noticed shadow play right away. There's a window over to the left in the room, and we just saw something pass by that real quick.
We're asking any of the castle spirits to come into this room.
How many people are here with us?
Unusual noise there. I don't know if you heard that or not.
Yeah. We started hearing just little noises. We couldn't tell if they were in the room, if they were outside in the courtyard.
Can see nothing outside those windows.
That?
Yeah.
I have no idea what that was. It sounded like it was in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was hearing some sort of noise, but there's nothing there. There's no reason for there to be sounds coming from that room.
Britt and Joe, Hamlet Castle investigation in the basement. Let's do an EVP session right here. What do you think?
Okay. Britt and I are investigating in the dungeon in Kronberg Castle, where there are reports of people feeling they're being watched.
If you're a prisoner here, we can help you escape. We know how to get out. We'll open up the doors for you. We'll show you how to get out.
We'll even help you overthrow the king. What's that?
What?
That bang. Where didn't it come from in front of us? Sounds like it's coming from way down there.
Did you hear that? It totally sounded like something moved in here, didn't it?
It sounds like somebody walking, but...
Are you trying to lead us out of your area?
What's that?
I have no idea.
What was that? What was that? Looked like somebody threw a rock at you?
I don't know, but it was right flipping behind me. As Joe and I were investigating the basement area, there was a sound of a rock being thrown.
What was that? That sounded like a voice. Somebody trying to talk. What? It sounded like somebody threw pebbles or something.
Okay. So somebody in here with us?
Were you talking directly to me?
Are you following us? Can you throw a rock at Joe? We definitely heard some disembodied voices, and then it happened again. It was like a rock was thrown and hit several walls and then the ground. Do you want us out of here?
But we need something from you first. We need to hear you. Let us see you.
You know, Joe, no more sounds like that pebbles that we heard being thrown.
No.
No, hopefully something will pop off in evidence review.
All right.
What Joe and I have experienced down here personally, I think there's something down here, and we very well may be being watched.
Britt and Joe, could you come back to Command Central and regroup?
On our way.
A question I have for you is this camera.
Mm-hmm.
You've plugged it into the mini DV.
Whoa! Yeah, what the hell is that?
What was it?
I have no idea. The light flash. There's some strange going on down there. When I was down there, it was very vocal.
Right.
So.
Chris.
Oh,
there it
there
is.
it goes again.
Chris, let's get down there and have a look at that setup. So Chris and I were command center, and suddenly something caught my eye on the DVR system. An unusual light phenomenon appeared to the right-hand side of the camera. The DVR camera was set up down in the area of the dungeon where the battery drain was said to occur. So immediately, Chris and I, of course, came down to investigate.
It's like a cave. This place is crazy.
Whenever I looked at the camera,
We can see those two lights, and we can see the AR light shining here.
Okay.
let's see if I can get that, whatever it is, to come back onto the DVR system while we're here. EVP session, Barry and Chris in the dungeon. We want to talk to any of the spirits that may reside in this dungeon.
How many people are down here with us?
What was that? Please come forward and make yourself known to us.
Please answer us. We just want to know we're not alone.
Would you prefer if we weren't in this room? Okay, everything seems to be pretty quiet. Let's leave the area for now and see if we get any more appearances on the DVR system.
Sounds good.
in an EVP session. We didn't see any light phenomena, but this is something that Paul and the rest of the team are going to have to investigate thoroughly during analysis to get me the answers as to what that was.
So the claims are in here that they hear footsteps, voices.
Britt and Joe Chapel.
Is there anyone in here tonight that would like to come forward and communicate with us? My name is Joe. Some people say they've heard voices in here.
Joe and I mean you no harm. We're just looking for answers.
What's that?
Do you see that flash of light over there?
I saw something.
I just caught it out of the corner of my eye. Was that your way of showing yourself to us, that little flash of light? If that was great. Joe and I saw a quick flash of light up towards the altar area. Now that Joe and I are paying attention and kind of figured out how you're trying to show yourself to us, can you do that one more time? Whoa. Joe, look over there. Is that chandelier shaking? Joe, look over there. Is that chandelier shaking? Yeah, I can see it moving.
We noticed one of the chandeliers was shaking. I don't understand how it's shaking now. It's not windy, but that one's not shaking at all.
Nope, this one's not moving at all.
We thought that was odd because there was actually two of them, but only one of them was actually moving.
If you can, just build up as much energy that you can, however you're gonna grab it. Make that chandelier swing again, that would be great. The windows are all shut, there's no breeze, there's no reason for this chandelier to be moving like it was.
This is a nice room.
It is. Glass chandelier.
Paul and I decided to go and investigate the second floor of the Kronborg Castle. There have been extensive reports of people hearing what sound like footsteps, noises, and even the feelings of being watched. So we came with a load of gear. So you have your video on, or are you going to take pictures?
I've got video there, and then I've got my camera down here to take some photographs as well. Cover all bases.
Whoa.
Why, what?
I think I just saw like a weird light anomaly or something. I thought at one point I was getting hits on the mini DV, but it could have possibly been my eyes were just kind of adjusting.
If there's anybody in here with us right now, we would implore you to come forward.
I'm calling out to anybody on this floor. Please follow the sound of my voice and join me in this room, please. There it goes again.
What?
That light that I keep seeing. What? Can you do what you did again?
Is it that?
No. Okay, wait. I see what it is.
What is it?
You see that little ball right there?
Yeah. Oh, it's a flare or what?
Yeah, it has to be a flare.
It's because we're still using the wide-angle lenses.
That's right, these are different lenses.
Yeah, they're different lenses.
I realized since we put new lenses on the mini DV, I still had to get used to how the IR reflected off of it, but I was later able to figure that out.
We know what it is now, so we know to be aware of that. That's a good thing.
As a team, we all headed up to the ballroom to investigate, and Barry wanted to try out the Singapore theory.
Have you ever taken part in any of these Singapore theories, Susan? This is your first one, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, folks, we know our positions, and let's move into those positions. That's the back of the hall. The Singapore theory is a theory which really developed from work from a team based in Singapore in Asia. So we were able to get some pieces of music that were from the 1600s. Played that in the ballroom to see if we could stimulate any type of response from any spirits that may still be in the castle.
Slate it? I got it.
Slated, yeah.
We were also using the full spectrum camera, low lux cameras, mini DV cameras. There was EVP sessions being played. So we were giving a good full coverage to the room. Okay, here we go. Are there any spirits here tonight?
We are here to celebrate the honeymoon of King James and Anne of Denmark. Eat, drink, be merry, and have fun.
My friends are here to bridge the gap between your era and ours.
Do you understand that we mean you no harm?
We have a number of devices here that will enable us to record your voice.
Britt and Joe, is everything okay?
We're getting shadow play down by the fireplace, the door to the fireplace.
On the right.
Earlier, it was moving from that door to the right towards the fireplace, and it just disappeared.
Same kind of thing.
Britt and Joe were actually seeing shadows coming out of the doorway towards the fireplace on the end I had seen them earlier. So I actually felt a little bit better hearing that another team had the same experience.
Okay, let's give it a few more minutes.
If you are here with us, we are not here to hurt you. We are not here to push you out.
King James, is that you? Can you come towards us?
You don't need to be afraid of us. We're playing music. We want to have fun. Come on out, join the party.
Have you been tormenting the Prince of Denmark?
Okay, folks, well done. Let's break up what we have here, and hopefully during analysis we'll find out what, of course, we have got.
This being Britt and I's first case over here at GHI is insane. You know, if all of locations are like this, I don't think either one of us are going to want to go home.
Now that the investigation's over, we have a huge amount of data to go through. Hopefully we will have some answers for Shane.
We're just about to go into analysis for the Kronborg Castle. Now, we use an array of equipment from full spectrum photography to data loggers and an array of audio recorders and obviously your handheld video cameras. Now, this particular location was huge, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what sort of evidence we're going to have captured and see if we're actually going to be able to get some answers.
Hey guys, I've got some footage here. It's of Britt and I. We're down in the dungeon, and he just turned on his full spectrum camera, and he says okay. And then right after he says okay, you hear this real raspy, deep voice, and it's really creepy. Well, let's hear that. Listen.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That was pretty blatant.
That's like, okay.
That's like right on top of the microphone, too.
That is.
It's louder than you.
And it sounds like it's in between us, because he's over on the other side, and I've got my mini DV running, and he's got his deep IR video camera running.
I like that one. That's pretty. That's good. It did sound very raspy.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Excellent. Great catch. Let's see what else we can find.
Okay.
One of the claims that Shane brought to us was this battery drain in the dungeon area. We basically set up an experiment as to why the batteries were drained. We should have some data. We'll be able to put that together and find out why batteries are draining down there.
Hey, guys. This is the full spectrum camera that's down in the basement, covering the battery experiment.
Yeah.
Watch right here. Tell me if you guys see what I see.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
there it is
And
again.
then
That's weird. That motion's strange.
It shouldn't be fluctuating like this. It hasn't fluctuated the whole time I've been watching it until now. I don't know what that does with your experiment, but all I can tell you is that that's not normal.
No, that's not. And in regards to the experiment, it's starting to get a little bit strange. Well, let me show you. Now, watch the flashlight.
Holy,
it moved.
Shane, it is good to see you again. Hi, Barry.
Nice to see you again, Shane.
You had brought us in here to look at some of the phenomenon that your group had been reporting, and of course some of the phenomenon reported by other guests who were at the castle. We have some unusual experiences. Chris and I were in the ballroom. There was these unusual murmurs, these voices that we couldn't really track down what it was trying to say to us or where it was coming from. And Chris had witnessed an unusual shadow moving toward the direction of the royal apartments. Okay, that's interesting.
But later, when we were all investigating the ballroom, Joe and Britt, they actually saw the same shadow that I had seen earlier.
That's amazing.
It was pretty neat.
Britt and Joe were investigating the chapel. They noticed that the first chandelier was shaking back and forward. Now, they captured this. Have a look at this.
No. That's the only one that's shaking.
It's pretty strange. It seems like it was shaking like this and swaying at the same time. That's right. how do you make it vibrate at the same time?
Well, that's where we were having difficulty as well. Of course, we were trying to reproduce what we possibly could have caused this to happen, but it wasn't happening. Chris and I were working in the chapel area. We posed a question to the spirit if there was one there, and this is what we got.
Make a noise as you do not appreciate us being here.
Now, were you able to hear that noise?
Oh, yes. And were you whispering in this area?
We weren't actually. We were being very, very quiet.
It's like there's a word being said in this area.
There could well be.
It could be a short word like go.
Here's another piece of audio we want you to hear. Joe and Britt, they were in the dungeon, and they were doing some EVP work down there, and Britt asks a question, and we hear something that almost goes over his question, the end of it.
It certainly does. It seemed to almost mimic what he was trying to do.
Okay.
Is somebody in here with us?
Would you like to hear it again?
Yes, please.
Is somebody in here with us?
And were you able to hear that?
Yes.
It was, very loud, obviously, on our audio. They weren't aware that anything was said.
Okay.
But this is a common thing for you guys?
We have often experienced that when you think about the question you want to ask, and when you ask the question, they would sort of give you the answer right away before you have said what you would like to say, because you just had it in your mind.
It was a really good catch for both Britt and Joe down there. And there seemed to be quite a bit going on.
Yeah.
Staying in the dungeon area, the area where you had said that the battery drain had occurred to you and your team.
Yes.
We had set up a battery. It was also a low-lux camera, and it was pointing in the direction where you reported the battery drain occurred. What we have here is a camera system,
yes,
which is monitoring the experiment itself.
Okay.
And it caused something unusual.
There. It flashes like or something.
Were you able to see that pulse of light?
Yes, yes, of course.
Something else unusual was going on in that area. The camera that was positioned at the experiment was capturing something else that was going on. Chris?
It moves.
It continues. Because not only do we see the light move, we also see the temperature rise. We also start to see our EMF rise.
Yeah. What we see here is very interesting because I know this dungeon area, and it's always the same temperature down there. There are almost no EMF down there because there's no electricity. Seems like the light moves first, and the temperature goes up. This is very good footage. Why would that light be moving?
That's right.
There's no way that it can move by itself. That there has to be something moving it.
That's right. Considering the chandelier swinging in the chapel, activity happening down in the dungeon where objects are being moved, and certainly, Shane, what we're left with, of course, we have to say that, yes, Kronborg Castle is haunted.
I think what you got here, it's amazing.
You've picked quite the training grounds.
For us, Shane, it has been a wonderful opportunity, and it has been wonderful, of course, to work with you. Thank you again, Shane.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
I'm very satisfied with the evidence here. It's amazing evidence, and we're also going to do much more down in the dungeons to see if we can do the same experiment as DSI has done here and maybe make these things happen again.
Well, I think that was very successful. Shane seemed to react very well with what we were able to give him.
You seem pretty impressed by that shaking chandelier and the flashlight moving with the EMF spike and the temperature increasing.
It certainly did. And there's something, certainly understand why Shakespeare got the inspiration for Hamlet to be or not to be. That is the big question.
To be or not to be. He's such a dork.